Hi there, my name is Mark Hammond and I'm joined by my colleague Rachel Banks. Today we're going to be going over the Ontario Safe Schools Act, School Discipline and Discrimination, written by Ken Bhattacharjee in July of 2003. The main purpose of this document was to examine whether or not the Ontario Safe Schools Act and regulations and school board policies on discipline, i.e. zero tolerance policies, are having a disproportionate impact on racial minorities and students with disabilities. I'll be talking about the Act to give you some background information, while Rachel will be looking at the impacts that it's had. Zero tolerance policy started in the mid-1990s. Leading up to the 1999 election, the PC party promised a zero tolerance policy for bad behavior. This came into effect in September of 2001. Previously, the ability to suspend a student was limited to principals, and expulsions was solely the authority of the school board. Now with this Safe Schools Act, both teachers and principals can suspend. Teachers are allowed 1-day suspensions, and principals can suspend up to 20 days. And expelling a student is now under the authority of both the school board and the principal, which includes a limited expulsion. Students will return after a timeline or after criteria was met, or a full expulsion, where removed from all publicly funded schools in Ontario. The most significant change is the provision for mandatory suspension and expulsion based on the student's infractions. Is also mandated police involvement for all the above infractions, except for 3 where police involvement is as required. The Act does provide mitigating factors for boards or principals to take into account. Besides these infractions, school boards and principals have been given the authority to add infractions to the mandatory list of suspensions and expulsions, and can also have a separate list of discretionary infractions where they can make their own decision. There is an appeal process that is also stated in the Act. The Minister has instated Ontario Reg 3701, which allows a fully expelled student to return to school once completed a strict discipline program. However, at this time, and again this was in 2003, there are no legal requirements for schools or boards to provide homework or alternative programs for suspended or limited expulsion students. Toronto District School Board has released a Safe Schools Protocol manuals in accordance with ensuring their policies follow the new Safe Schools Act, adding infractions, and also having a discretionary list. The manual includes mitigating factors that the principal must take into account when deciding how to discipline their students. When a student with exceptionality is involved, there are other factors they must consider as well. In assessing whether zero tolerance is being practiced in the school system in Ontario, it is important to keep in mind that the principals and teachers are receiving 2 contradictory messages. One advocating zero tolerance and prescribing mandatory action, and the other directing them to apply mitigating factors. This is where Rachel will continue on regarding the disproportionate impact of the Safe Schools Act.